I think working with an orchestra is in a sense like any meaningful relationship in life. The more you spend time with one another, the closer you get to know one another, and the deeper the relationship goes, the less one has to explain who you are, what you're about. And it really is no different with orchestras. I've been very lucky in my professional life to work with specific orchestras, sometimes over 10 years, over 20 years. And Sydney, the Sydney Symphony Orchestra is no exception. I can't even remember when I was here for the very, very first time. Even then, I was so impressed to be here, to work with the orchestra. And now I would say it's, I know, perhaps 12, 15 years later, this relationship has evolved, and the orchestra knows me well, I know them well. There's a lot you can convey in a gesture, or there's a lot that you can convey through just a look. It's like any relationship, any meaningful relationship in life, it's just, it just gets deeper and better. One often talks about the sound of an orchestra. Does the Sydney Symphony Orchestra have a sound? Does the Berlin Phil have its own sound? Can you, without knowing the actual orchestra, tell from just listening to it? The Sydney Symphony Orchestra has something really very remarkable. There is a tautness, there is a pride in ensemble, there is an enormous amount of communication between all of them. That may sound as if, well, don't all orchestras do that? Not necessarily. There are very often a lot of very proud people in the orchestra who don't feel they need to have that amount of communication with all their colleagues, and section with section, first with the seconds, seconds with the violas, with the winds. And from the very outset, I've really been impressed at the discipline within the orchestra, just the tightness of the ensemble. In terms of the sound of the orchestra, this renovation of the Sydney Opera House is a revelation. I cannot overstate that. A great hall is like an instrument. If you go to Vienna, the Musikverein, if you go to Berlin, if you go to Boston, the Boston Symphony Hall, those halls are instruments. They resonate, they vibrate. And I know the Sydney Symphony Orchestra is on this trajectory because of this ability to hear themselves, and by hearing themselves better, they can work on themselves and work on that sound. And I'm very excited to be part of that.